as a mortgage loan officer, AI might be able to help you in your business more than you think. There's tons of AI tools out there, and it can actually be overwhelming to find out which ones you can use and how to use them. So in this video, we're going to go over how to use AI to write really good marketing emails that are accurate. So you may know of ChatGPT already. It's probably the most popular at this point, and it's very helpful. But one flaw of ChatGPT is its cutoff knowledge of 2021. So any information that is past 2021, a lot of times it isn't accurate. But Google actually has a competing chat platform called Google Bard, which as a loan officer may be very useful for you. And we're going to check out using Google Bard on writing marketing emails. We're also going to look at using ChatGPT, even with its knowledge cutoff, how you can use it to write marketing emails so that you can save time and start following up with realtors, with leads, and ultimately just closing more deals and making more money. Use AI in your business because it can leverage your time a lot. Your time is extremely valuable, and if you can get some of your time back, then ultimately you're going to be able to close more deals and make more money. So let's go ahead and jump in. So first, went ahead and typed it out so that you didn't have to watch me type out what I was doing. But this is a Google Bard. Again, this is their competitor to ChatGPT. And the benefit of Google Bard over ChatGPT is Google Bard actually has access to Google and real-time information. You can see I used a similar prompt as I would with ChatGPT. I'm a mortgage loan officer in the Nashville area. I need to write an email newsletter to my list of people who might be potentially interested in the housing market because they want to purchase a home. Act as an expert email marketer. Write an email newsletter with the most up-to-date information and stats for people that might want to purchase in the Nashville area. With this prompt, you don't have to use this exact prompt every time. If you have a new program, you could give it the information on your program. Hey, we just got access to a new program. Here are the details. Write a good email newsletter that builds excitement and has a call to action at the end. You could give it any information you want. You could ask it to write specifically about, say, the change in housing prices last year and this year. You don't have to just use this prompt, but let's see what it said. So I'm not going to read all this. If you want to pause and read what it said, subject, the net housing market, what you need to know. I want to jump down to this because this is where it starts giving me some statistics. According to the latest data from the Nashville MLS, the median home price in Nashville is $450K. This is up 15% from a year ago. However, inventory has increased slightly in recent months. So it's giving me actual information, and let's go ahead. Median home price in Nashville. Let's look it up. And off of a quick Google search, median home price in Nashville, you can see Redfin, which no isn't the source it got it from, but it's $448K. So it looks like it's pretty accurate. So right here, there's a call to action that says, don't hesitate to contact me. I would probably change that. Here's a good tip when you're using any of these AI softwares. I wouldn't just put the prompt in, copy this, paste it, and go. I would just do a quick read through. You might want to change a couple of things. For this, I would want to do a click here call to action instead of, or even a reply to this email. But ideally, it's a click here and they can opt into something or submit their info or whatever. And you can see, and actually down here on the bottom, to be honest, I didn't even see this first time I went through it. It gives you a few different call to actions that you can put on the bottom. So visit my website. So you hyperlink this with your website, hyperlink this to a contact page, and then this to the latest Nashville MLS report. And then I asked it, what are the interest rates? And it gave me this information, right? So I can include this in my email if I wanted to, or I can make it into another email. I told it to list the sources. It said it's outside of its capabilities, but the cool thing about Google Bard and ChatGPT is in each chat, it remembers the previous parts of the conversation. So even though I did this, I think I did this a couple of days ago, let's see if I can tell it to write an email based off of those interest rates. All right, so it's working right now. I intentionally didn't tell it to look for Nashville because I wanted it to understand that I was still talking about Nashville. Here's a marketing email based off the current interest rates. And I'm not going to read this entire thing. If you want to pause it and read it, you can. But this is huge, guys, because again, you don't have to just get it to pull the information off, right? You may get emails yourself with market updates. So the way that you could do that, let's pretend that this is some information that I just got in my email as a loan officer, right? What I could do is instead of relying on Google Bard to retrieve the right information, if I already have it, I can just say, write an email for my list based off this information. I give it the information and then it will use that instead. So if you want to make sure that the information that you know is 100% correct is used in the email, go ahead and give it to Google Bard. In this instance, if you're going to give it the information and you don't want it to retrieve any real-time data for you because you're going to provide it, ChatGPT may actually be the best option for that, in my opinion. A lot of people like Google Bard. I like ChatGPT better. I use it all the time. But see, here's an email based off the information that you provided, and there you go. I mean, you can pause it again. I'm not going to sit here and read you an email word for word because I think that'd make for a boring video. But this is huge, guys, especially if you're wanting it to retrieve real-time information. Google Bard may be the one to go with. Now, let's go over to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is free to use. Google Bard's free to use. ChatGPT 3.5 is free to use. I pay the $20 a month, the pro version, because it's the best $20 that I've ever spent in my life. And I mean that. Obviously I don't get anything for you paying for ChatGPT. I have no affiliate link or anything for ChatGPT. Maybe if they had one, I would. But guys, if you're not paying $20 a month for ChatGPT, the pro version, I highly recommend it. So right now they've disabled the Bing feature, which actually has access to the real-time information as well, but that'll come back, but it's disabled for now. You have default, code interpreter, and plugins. First, default, this is how you can use it. Basically the same thing I just showed you with Google Bard. You tell it to act as, I'm not going to type it out, but act as an email marketer. Actually, I will type it out. 1 second. All right, so I've typed out a prompt for ChatGPT. Tell it to act as an expert email marketer, which I always like to tell it how to act. And I don't know if I think it does help. I think I tested it when I first started ChatGPT, but I told it to write an email, a newsletter for a mortgage loan officer. So I told it who it was for, and it gets sent out to people who might be interested in purchasing a home. So who it's getting sent out to. Use the below information to craft your email and include a CTA to click on the link and to find out how much house they can afford in their area. So I just copied and pasted the interest rates that Google Bard gave me earlier. And then I told it I just got access to a program that lets the borrower buy a home with 1% down instead of 3%. They have to have a 640 or higher credit score and not make more than 80% of the median income in the area they're buying in. Also, there's no mortgage insurance, which could save them more than $250 per month on their monthly payment. And you guys may know what program I'm talking about, or you may not, but I just want to point out I put could save them more than $250 a month on their monthly payment because it's important to not say that it's definitely going to save them a certain amount. As a loan officer, you know that. There's compliance stuff, all that good jazz. So that's why I say could save you more than $250 a month on your monthly payment. And in areas like Nashville, that's pretty much the case. But let's go ahead and see what it says. This is, again, one of my favorite ways to use ChatGPT is to provide it with the information that I want it to use, and then it'll make the email. I use it like this all the time. I have so many chats that I literally every day. And you see it's already going. Subject, unlock your dream home with just 1% down and save big. Find out how. That's good subject line. And I will let you pause and read this email if you want. But of course, you can't just copy paste it and go because you have to fill in like here at your company's name. And to avoid having to do this as much, you could provide it in the prompt with your company's name, with your name. So just keep in mind the prompting is hard at first, but once you get used to it, it's really easy. Maybe I'll make a prompting guide in the future. If you guys want me to make a prompting guide, let me know in the comments because I've gotten to where I'm pretty decent at it. But here's the email, guys. You can read it and let me know what you think. Is it good? Is it bad? Again, when you do this, when you make these emails, don't just copy paste and then just send it out. I would go through it, maybe change a couple things if you want to. Make sure that there's nothing like this that's not replaced with your actual name and your company name and your contact info. But this, I use it all the time. I'll put my video scripts in here. I'll put emails, I'll put texts like campaigns, and then I'll just ask it to give me a recipe using what I have in my pantry. Like I actually saw somebody who used it like that and I was curious and it's pretty crazy. But ChatGPT. So another way, let's go over another way. This is the default ChatGPT, one way you can. So before I jump into the plugins, which could be extremely helpful, I just want to touch on this code interpreter, which could not be useful based off of just what you have access to. Basically, where this might is if you just have CSV full of data, like housing data, for example, you could have it interpret that data and then use that. It basically can read CSVs and data, even code, which you might not have a use for that part, but we used it actually for reading through data from our ad accounts for our clients because we're a marketing agency. We work with mortgage loan officers to help them add 3 to 5 new deals to their pipeline each month. And if you guys want to find out more about that, I left a link down in the description. But we started using this in our fulfillment part of our team to just plug in all this data because usually we look for, there's certain metrics that we look at, because if we looked at all the data, we would just spend an entire day on just one person. So we just look at the most important data points. We've actually started experimenting by putting all of the data in Code Interpreter and having analyze it all and give us feedback. We're still in the early phases of testing that, but it's pretty freaking crazy. So you can check out Code Interpreter if you have the $20 a month, but let's go to plugins, because plugins are really cool. And what this is like apps for ChatGPT. So you can go to the plugin store, and there's a lot more on here than the first time that I looked, but there was one, I think there was a Redfin plugin. Let's see, housing, 1 second, there was one. So I'm fairly certain there was a Redfin plugin. I can't find it now, but I just typed in real estate and I found this Top app, and I've never used this one, so I'm going to install it. So let's test that one out. I guess they may have taken it off, because I'm pretty sure I had the Redfin plugin installed, but let's go here. So you can see the Top app, enrich real estate data and location-based tools. Let's see what it says. I'm going to ask it, what are the current housing stats in Nashville, Tennessee? So my hope with this is that it uses real-time information. The Redfin app did, again, or the Redfin plugin did. I don't know where it's at. Maybe they're having problems with it, but let's see if this Top app does. So the current housing statistics for Nashville, Tennessee, total property count to occupied ratio. So I just ask it, what are the housing prices? This may not be a fix. Whenever the Redfin plugin comes back on the ChatGPT store, maybe that's something that you can use, but it looks like it's not. See, guys, I'm not crazy. It says Redfin launches ChatGPT plugin to help people find their next home. I'm going to show you guys. So here's an article proving, and this just gives you an idea of how it did work. Maybe they're going to bring it back. I don't know where it's at, but you could say, I'm moving to Houston for a new job with a $150,000 salary. Please show me 3-bedroom homes for sale with private outdoor entertainment. And then it would look up actual houses that fit. It's just like having a real estate agent that you could ask questions to and get information from. It was really cool. Let's see. Yeah, so I just did another search. I can't find it. Keep an eye on it. Which AI software, is it Google Bard or ChatGPT, is going to be best for you as a mortgage loan officer? So it really depends. I like to provide ChatGPT because here's the thing, Google Bard can still be wrong sometimes. Just because it has access to real-time information, so you still have to fact check it a little bit. But if you have, and you probably do, the current housing statistics, I would probably just use the pro version. You can use the free version, but I would use the pro version of ChatGPT and just copy and paste that information in it. Like, here's the current housing statistics, write a marketing email based off of that. And I think that's the best way to do it. But this really saves you a lot of time. You could write 10 emails that weren't current stats that you just wanted to schedule and send to your list, and you could do it all within less than probably 15 minutes, to be honest. It's a really powerful tool. And as these new AI tools come out, you can use them to get more of your time back. The more time you have to not doing things like writing emails and stuff like that, the more time you have to go out and find new deals and close new deals and follow up with prospects and build more referral partnerships. So don't sleep on AI. It's going to change the way, it's already changing the way that business is done. It's changed the way that my workflow has changed because of it. So don't wait until, it's 5 years down the road to start implementing some of this stuff. Take advantage now, because there's a lot of loan officers that aren't taking advantage of it, and you could get ahead of the game. You could increase your productivity a lot by using stuff like this. This is just one use case. But like I said earlier, we work with loan officers to help them add 3 to 5 new deals into their pipeline every month. If you want to know more about what we do, I left a link down in the description and in the pinned comment, so you can check that out. But if you want to watch another video, I think this one right here, where we find the best ways to use ChatGPT for a mortgage loan officer, might be extremely valuable to you. Again, AI, don't sleep on it. Start using it and close more deals. We'll see you there.